guys, just another lightning quick bit of pyrography laser patterning. Just letting my pyrography machine warm up now. As again, laser printed, not inkjet printed, so the ink's temperature sensitive and not dangerous when it's aerated. And just going to laser pattern a quick pattern, another gift that I'm making. Once again, I'm patterning it onto basswood. I've actually found basswood to be really nice. It burns beautifully, it's a nice and smooth burn. I've got a single temperature machine, so I need to find a wood that works with it, as you saw me on the unboxing. This single temperature machine does work with the unboxing, or does work with basswood. The temperature's about right. Slightly burns a bit too quick on beech, so working on basswood again. Nice thin bit of basswood. It's been sanded with 240, then 320 to prepare the surface. I've laser printed the pattern, I've laid the pattern out, face down. If you use a nice bright light source, as long as you've printed the pattern nice dark black or nice dark colours, you'll be able to see the pattern through. There's no point really printing in any specific colour because you're going to burn over it, it's all going to go black anyway. But if you do want to, say you've got more red ink than anything else in your printer, then you can always print your pattern in red, it will still transfer over. So let's have a look. We're doing it here, see if you can get a different angle on it. Yep, that's nice and hot. I didn't touch it, I just put my hand near it. Don't touch these things, they get up to several hundred degrees, especially the single temperature ones. Now, one way you can tell if you're transferring the pattern across successfully or not is if the paper seems to stick slightly to the wood, because the ink will stick the paper to the wood ever so slightly. It will come back off again without you having to pull it. But if there's a slight, it seems like the paper's stuck slightly for a second after you've come over it, then that's a good sign. As you can see, I'm slightly scorching the paper, which means I let this get a little bit too hot before I did it. Some woods are more sensitive to scorching than others. If you've got a very sensitive wood, it's very sensitive to scorching wood, then you might want to try to see if you're scorching the paper on a on part of the paper that isn't actually over the wood. Very rare for you to set wood paper on fire with a pattern transfer bit, which is what this is, because it's a very broad bit. It takes a lot of heat to warm it up to the temperature where it'll set wood on fire. But you can scorch wood and blacken wood, and you can scorch the wood underneath, scorch paper and blacken paper, and you can scorch the wood underneath, which discolours it. Here in the UK, basswood is slightly more expensive than it is in America. And I just had a cat come in the room, so I've got to be careful she doesn't jump up and scald herself on this. I'll go and deal with that for a second. Try to make sure you're doing it in an environment where you're not going to have things like that happen. Just have a quick look. That's not bad. You see the pattern's not completely transferred. That doesn't matter as long as you've got the rough outline of the pattern. I mean, the reason I do big block patterns like this is if I miss a bit during the transfer process, it doesn't particularly matter, because I can actually use what I have as the rest of the pattern. If you use a pattern with very thin lines, what you'll find is that if you miss a part of the pattern, for instance here, if this was done out of thin lines, I would have missed 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 lines there. It's very hard to recreate the pattern. With nice, thick, bold patterns, it's much easier. I mean, a lot of people who do pyrography artistically just do pyrography straight off. They don't do a pattern at all. That's fine. That's the artistic way of doing it. I'm not a very artistic person. I don't have a very stable hand. My hand tends to shake when I'm doing fine work, and I don't have a very good mind for taking things directly from my mind, placing them onto something straight off. 1 second. So thanks guys.